But can we talk about lending family slash friends money for a
Oh,
second,
I like
right?
this idea.
Mhm.
Because I think that it's the worst thing you could possibly do, or amongst the worst things you could possibly
Oh
do, right?
wow.
And Aaron from DC, I'm gonna let you go first and tell me what you think about it. But I think you should never let a family member or a friend borrow money, right? And I'll tell you why after you go.
To an extent, I would say yes,
Okay.
but a caveat: don't let friends or family borrow money that you're expecting to see back immediately. Because if they don't get that money back to you
Define immediately though. Hold up.
within reason, within a reasonable amount of time,
Before your next paycheck.
like
So
if you're
2 weeks
expecting, like
for
basically,
Mary
if you're
Claire.
expecting that money back, don't lend it out.
Okay.
All right. If you're
Ah.
expecting that money back within a reasonable time, don't lend it out
I
because
got some
all
words
it's
for
gonna do,
JV. Go ahead.
What?
it's just gonna put a stress on your relationships.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Okay.
It's not the most wise decision.
Why not?
Like I said, it's gonna put a stress on the relationships. You're gonna every time you see that person out there spending money, you're gonna be like, he still owe me money.
I swear to God.
That's how y'all be thinking. That's
they
crazy.
gonna send
I've
you a
never
picture
Dang,
of
heard
a
that's
of that.
crazy.
PS.
That's how you feel?
You're gonna
Right.
get a
I
picture
Yeah.
of a
definitely.
PS4 and be like, oh, that costs like $400 and you still owe me $100.
So can
So
we
you
get
Maybe
know
we
how
should
that
personal?
do
goes.
that.
Can we get personal for a minute here?
Go
Yes or
ahead.
no?
What's
You
oh
know what I'm saying?
personal? Oh, there go a mosquito.
So I know I know that somebody owed somebody on this show about $120, right? Because they asked them to borrow this money for a plane ticket. Okay,
Mm,
no
That
problem.
sound familiar.
So
it
the
does
money
sound
was
very.
loaned to said friend, right? And then this friend for $120, mind you, this friend has been employed the entire time. It took this
Yikes.
person 2.5 years to pay back a $120 debt.
Hey, can I
What's the
jump on top of
temperature?
that?
Bullshit. Wait, Aaron, you got something? Go ahead.
Oh
What you
I
got?
got something to
no.
jump on top
And
of
then
that. This
MC, what
same
you got?
friend, this
Oh.
same friend once borrowed $80 to go pick up his son. Well, ooh, I think I
Oh
might have already let the
no.
cat out of the bag
I
from his
feel
baby
Is
mother's
everyone's
house.
thermostat okay?
right. It's
Because
kind
it's
of hot up in
getting
here. Let
like
me get.
And it took him. I had the Galaxy, I believe the Galaxy 4 at the
Oh
time.
shit.
And I was going to get the Galaxy 6 and I needed the money. And that's what I was like, hey, I'm gonna need you to give me that money now.
to fucking run that paycheck, you know what I'm saying? Where them coins at? You feel
Lord.
where them funds
That's
at? You feel me?
crazy. That is crazy.
But that's
I don't know
bullshit.
who. I don't know who.
Mary Claire, do you think that people should pay money back ASAP, or you think that people should have time and get leeway because they're best friends or siblings?
Well, I mean, to be fair, when a person asks you to borrow money, unless you give them a time frame when to pay it back, is it really their fault? I don't want
Yes.
to.
It's
I don't
100%
want to
their
be
fault.
too messy, but okay. But I
It's a
mean,
messy
for
hour.
me, since everyone gave their opinion how they feel,
I mean, I didn't get mine yet.
I am always trying to be helpful and lend a hand if I can, especially if it's somebody I'm close with, like,
Okay.
when it comes to significant others, my siblings, my mom, best friends. Sure. Anything beyond that, I probably could care less and I'm not going to give you my money. But when it comes to me personally, I hate borrowing money from people because I feel miserable when I do. So I try to avoid it at all costs.
But those
So
costs that you do that, how does it end?
anytime I've ever lent somebody money, I think they've paid me back within a 2 week notice. So anything beyond that is uncomfortable.
It's
Yes,
uncomfortable and
very,
unreasonable,
Super
very
and it's
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
scumbaggery.
Oh, okay. Let
JV,
me
the
it,
floor is
becomes,
tell
it
yours.
becomes a topic of conversation every time.
you know.
It just gets uncomfortable, especially when it's your
Mhm.
pockets that are burning and you're like, I really need that money back, but you don't want to be an asshole and be like, hey, I need my money back.
Nah,
But
be an
sometimes
asshole.
sometimes it has to be that way.
Yeah,
So
even though
Yeah.
you let this person borrow it, so you're not being an asshole for asking for what you lent out, right? Because you're
right.
not the bank per se, but this is a
But I
lender.
will say people should be smart no matter if it's their family or their friends when it comes to borrowing money because a title don't mean nothing. It's all about trust.
Sometimes you
So
don't know. Sometimes you lend them
yeah.
money to your best friend, and they think
But you gotta
they
be
got
willing
you.
to take that risk when you give it.
Facts.
So
JV, the floor is yours for whatever you got to say.
Uh, just to talk to the viewers for one second, because I'm not even going to
Defend yourself.
engage
hold on,
in
hold
the
on.
Go ahead,
I
defend
think you
yourself,
need to
man.
change your background if you want to talk to the US.
Yeah, let me just. Let me. Yeah. Let me talk to the American people. Can I be at the Capitol? No, in all seriousness, because I know I got two messy friends here on the podcast, but see, y'all say how bothered y'all are. I'm unbothered. So anyway,
That's because you weren't home money. That's why.
that's true. But okay, but to be honest, but to be fair, I feel like if you are in that situation and you're thinking like, should I give a friend money? Should I, this, that, and the other? My rule of thumb is never lend out money that you cannot stand to lose. The majority of the
That's the
people
same
that
thing I
you
just
will
said.
with, yeah, no, I'm agree with that. The majority of the people that we all know basically live paycheck to paycheck. Let's just call it what it is.
Facts.
If
Mhm.
if you miss a paycheck, Aaron, if I miss a paycheck, like if I don't get paid on next Friday, I'll be like, okay, what's happening here? You know what I'm saying? It's not like many of us got $20,000 saved in the bank. We right. So anything can
Speak for
happen.
yourself.
Oh, excuse me.
All
I
of a
forgot.
sudden, she makes so much coffee that she
I'm about to say, what the
fucking-
fuck
Right,
is this? What is she
exactly.
talking
First
about?
Outta
First
here.
of all, it doesn't matter what job you work. You can have a very healthy savings and a very small bank account. Just saying.
Oh, well,
Just saying. That's how you should live your
well,
life.
I'm
Just
like,
saying for
Wendy,
the people out there who don't know.
well, Mary, between you and I and everybody else, we know what you really do in the third ward of Houston. But anyway, that's not the question. So what I was going to
Hater.
say, she making money. Ro is putting her in them streets. But listen, back to the point. What I was going to say was never lend out an amount of money that you cannot stand to lose because anything could potentially happen. I remember I had a friend. I'm not going to tell y'all who it is because they're going to be like, you messy. But I had a friend that was getting ready to go to his best friend's bachelor's party or whatever. He was like all excited about it, this, that, and the other. And so he used to work at like this one of these helping home aid people for his grandmother. And so he turned in his time sheets and everything and woke up Friday morning and he didn't get paid. And he was like, whoa, I thought he thought it was an issue. Like, what's happening? What's going on? He went up to the office like, hold on, wait a minute, baby. Where my little check?
Hold on, hold on.
My flight to Miami leaving at 12:45. Not my flight, but this person's flight.
Right.
And so, long story
Okay.
short, that person had to go all the way on this bachelor party with no money to stand the other. It was just a complete shit show. Can I say shit show? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
so my point that I'm making is that you never know what can happen. And when you borrow money from somebody and you find yourself in a situation like, oh dang, this came up or this light bill came up, I gotta flat my tire. Can I hit you back 2 weeks? Can I hit you back 4 weeks? Then that time to start going and going, and this person is missing that $80, $120, or whatever dollar it is. It causes.
But you're also
friction,
not thinking about how that could affect another person, right? So, Aaron, I'm not saying you were on the same bachelor party trip as this person. I don't know, right?
Right,
But
no,
my question
y'all
is,
messy.
how could that have affected you if you're on the same trip as this person?
It would have hurt a little bit, because you did plan this.
Yeah.
Not saying you specifically,
Not
Sean,
JV specifically.
but,
Oh, no.
yes, right, or JV.
Right.
But this has been
This
planned.
is
It was
not about
planned.
that.
I would assume
Okay.
for a very long amount of time, which
Mhm.
gives you
Ample
a
time
big
to like
lead up.
save.
a little lead up time, right,
Yeah,
to
for sure,
save
for sure.
money for the trip. Now, if you're unprepared, that's on you
Right.
or
I agree.
your friend JV,
Yeah, my friend. Right. But
right?
can I interrupt?
But
Can
it's
I-
something that you should.
No,
But
you can't
but-
interrupt yet. Not yet.
Anyway, but
Okay.
it's something that your friend should probably divulge to the group or whoever is on this trip beforehand, so they're not caught blindsided at the time of the trip.
I mean, I also think that
Agreed.
like JV was saying, like shit happens.
Oh, it does.
So I think it's also a good thing to recognize, like, if you've gone beyond that uncomfortable point of paying somebody back, you should at least acknowledge it. Like one time I borrowed money from my sister and I swore to her, I was like, look, I'm gonna pay you back when I get my paycheck. And then my dumb ass forgot. And then I spent a bunch of money and then I was like, shit, I'm gonna have to hit her back next paycheck. But now I
See?
gotta awkwardly tell her, like, at
See,
least tell the
that's that shit.
person, like, yo, I messed up, like, but I am gonna pay you back. Like, that's
But
at least
you
that nice
acknowledge your
little
fuck
courtesy.
up, which is
Right.
respectable. You acknowledge your fucked up, right? So, JV, in your situation, did your friend acknowledge the fuck up in the moment, or did it take like some time? Like, what was going on?
I think, to my understanding, if I'm not mistaken,
Aaron, chime in whenever you get ready.
the
Mhm.
person made it to Miami and explained like this is what's happening, but because everything was already going on, it was already quote unquote last minute. It wasn't a situation where people
Mhm.
could prepare. It was one of those things where it's like this happened as we were speaking, guys. So it's a difference between like
Mhm.
breaking news and happening now, right? So it was kind of like this is happening as we're speaking. So it's nothing that the other people that could be involved can do at that very last moment because it's happening simultaneously. And like you say, again, with everybody kind of living paycheck to paycheck, once one domino fall, it just kind of continues to stumble over. Like, okay, dang, will this happen? Will that happen? Now this happened. Now everybody is trying to, like you say, collect and do whatever that needs to be done. So on a serious note, to the people that's listening, like, well, dang, I found myself in this awkward situation. I agree with Mary Claire. Communication is number one. You have to be able to communicate with that person and say, hey, listen, this is what's going on, this, that, and the other. But then again, you got some people who they don't really care for that. Like, if you borrow money from me on the 20th and you say you're gonna pay me on the 20th, some people like, I want my money. I don't care if your mama died, your grandma died, your car flew up, and this, that, and the other. And some people are like that. In real life, I do have a friend that's kind of like that, but then this person will borrow money from you, and then you have to text them, be like, hey, did you remember that you borrowed 20 from me last week? Oh, I got you, bro. But then you borrow $5 from them. Hey, I got you in the morning. I left my wallet. They text you at 9:02. Hey, you got the 5? You'd be like, whoa, damn, I just woke up. You know what I'm saying? So again, I would say
going all types of directions.
Right, So I would say it is imperative to, stay into communication, but most of all, don't lend out money that you cannot stand to lose, because again, you just never know what can happen. But to give people something funny, Sean is talking about me with this $120. So,
really?
I was waiting for somebody to crack. I was about to be like, you know what? The three of you need to just talk it out and get it over with.
But to be fair to me, this is
Please
where
be fair.
to be fair to me. So when I had borrowed the money from Sean, if I'm not mistaken, I never really said a specific date that I was going to pay him back.
What? No.
Let me put that out.
But
wait.
Okay.
But number two, I thought he and I were joking, but it was actually serious, because Sean had came up with this thing where Aaron was going to be like his agent / lawyer. We had went to this fake court in our text message group. I don't know if y'all remember. But so basically, Sean thought he was Capital One, and he was like charging me this interest. And so this was back in
the interest was hilarious.
Sean was like, it's my money and I need it now.
Basically, right? So
Sean was out of pocket.
This was so every
charge of payday
Tuesday,
loan prices.
Basically, he was out of order. So every Tuesday, Sean would
50% interest.
Outrageous prices. So let's say if I owe him $120, like next Tuesday it'd be like $160. Next Tuesday it'd be like $220. I was like, what is happening here? So at one point I thought I was going to be like delinquent for like $2,000 or something. I was like, is this back child support? Like, what's going on here? So I'm thinking, this goes back to communication. I'm thinking Sean and I joking around. We're having a good time. Like, oh, I owe you money. I got you, bro. It's nothing. But we just joking around. But then when I start seeing subtweets on Facebook, like,
I'm talking about subtweets.
They're not called subtweets.
It's not the same thing.
It's not a subtweet.
My bad. But I'm starting seeing shade being thrown at me from a third party on Facebook. Like, oh wow, how can you be somebody's friend, but you owe them money? And I'm like, okay. So,
can I also bring in the person who like doesn't pay on time, JV? Don't be out there. Don't be flexing all over the gram on Snapchat about you knew this, you knew that, if you owe somebody money.
Don't be out here talking about how you travel from state to state to state when you're in debt.
Yeah,
your friend.
But you getting flued out though. If you getting flued
out. No. So the moral of this topic for me is don't let friends or family borrow money for shit. Period. Right?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Full stop. You going full stop.
I wouldn't
JV
say
your
that,
brother.
Sean.
You feel me?
I wouldn't say
JV fucked this over both, Aaron, financially.
But
am I next?
No. Let's be fair. No. See,
sorry, Mary Claire,
y'all ain't finna drag my name in the dirt. No. Before we wrap this show up in 20 minutes, y'all ain't finna drag me in the dirt. Let's be fair. Yes, in my past, there have been some hiccups and pitfalls every now and again. But one thing I can say about our brotherhood, and still to this day, we all still here together, is that you should never allow those types of things kind of ruin a friendship unless somebody's just being straight trifling. Because it was just a few weeks ago, baby. You was borrowing money from me, Sean.
but I paid you back in 2 hours, motherfucker.
No, baby. I have to text you though.
But I paid you back in 2 hours, so don't do that. I waited 2 years and 2 hours are two different things.
Aaron, he texting me talking about I gotta get some medicine. I'm like,
yeah, I was like, I got you in 2 hours, motherfucker.
No, I have to text you.
2 hours.
Did I pay you back in 2 hours or not?
Turnaround.
No,
yeah, that was fine. Yeah. So that's the difference, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Mary Claire, the floor is yours gonna be in 2 seconds. Mary Claire, the floor is yours. My point is just that JV, you were in the wrong.
No.
You don't let family or friends borrow money because it can ruin relationships. You don't want money to ruin a relationship.
If it's a large amount, yes.
No, even fuck a large amount, right? I was mad at JV for $100.
Right, but see, my argument
I was angry for that.
Can I ask y'all a question, since you guys have borrowed money from each other, obviously, and or may not have paid back? Do you guys have a comfort limit with each other? Like, if Aaron asked y'all, like, hey, can I borrow $1,000? Like, do you guys have a cutoff?
Aaron never has a job, so no, I'm not gonna.
First of all, that's a lie. That's a goddamn lie.
That's wrong.
Got the best equipment out of
y'all
everybody
ever
here.
had to be like, ooh, that's too much for my comfort, or like.
Can I answer that? Honestly, when it comes to Sean, Aaron has never really come to me and borrowed money, not that I can ever remember. I can't really recall ever a time Aaron has ever reached out and was like, yo, JV, my pocket's kind of hurting right now, this, that.
Okay, what about Sean?
But with Sean, honestly, it's not, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Sean and I have the kind of rapport where if Sean hits me, it's like we joke around and we talk about each other, but like Sean knows me and I know Sean. So if Sean texts me and say, yo, JV, all BS aside, I need $160 because I gotta do X, Y, and Z. Sean, no questions asked. I shoot it to him just like that.
Okay, like, 160, yeah, but I'm saying like, what's your cutoff?
It's not a cutoff. If I got it in my account and Sean comes to me in that, yo, JV,
if you got $1,000 in your bank account, Sean was like, bro, I need this money.
Because history has taught me with Sean, and it's I'm just being real. History has taught me with Sean that anytime he's ever hit me like in that mode, like, yo, JV, I don't normally do this, but I got X, Y, and Z going on. Can I borrow whatever? It's nothing, because I know, like, hey, that's family right there. But like with that $120, like we joking around with the plane ticket, that's why I didn't take it serious, because we just joking around. But then when I started getting them third party,
you thought you was gonna call Jerry Springer,
right? But when I had got them third party messages on Facebook, like, and it wasn't even a direct message, Aaron. It was like
right.
You ever
was expecting Jerry Springer and got Judge Judy.
You ever read a Facebook status, Aaron, and you know it's about you, but you don't know if you should comment, and they be like, "That's really crazy."
No, I hit it with a like. Always hit it with a like.
This person was like, I see you. That's really crazy how somebody can be at NBA games but still owe my husband $120. Okay, dang,
I cannot wait to see the comments on this whole video. For everyone watching and listening, I'm pretty sure my sister's comments will be way more entertaining than the actual episode.
I was like, dang, girl, you ain't have to put me out there for the whole Facebook to see. Like, she might as well just tag my name and said, Joshua Alfonso Benson.
Bro, she didn't give a fuck. But to what JV said, and Mary Claire, kind of what you're saying, right, is like, yeah, no, if JV or Aaron were to hit me and like on some real shit and be like, man, I need ABC. If I got it, like, no problem. Like, that's brothers right now. Doesn't mean it's the right decision to make. Maybe not, right? Mm-hmm. But I think people will do for people they're close with, no matter what.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Mary Claire, you haven't talked like much, right? But you can tell me if we're wrong or if you agree.
No, I mean, if anything, I've learned from this episode that I have comfort levels now between the three of you on who I should let borrow money and if I'm going to get paid back. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, if you let JV borrow anything, you got a 2-year window.
Yeah,
I think I would be really scared if one of y'all was like, yo, can I borrow 200? Like, I'll pay you back. I would be like, oh. Am I getting punked or some shit? Like,
but can I conclude?
First of all, we're never gonna come to you for money either, though.
Right, we know you're poor, but
right. So
wait a second. Hold up. Hold up.
If we're coming to you for money,
you know we're desperate as shit. Like,
yeah, we're.
Oh my!
I mean, look how skinny my dog is. Like,
right.
Man need food right now.
Right.
Our lives are fucked if we need Mary Claire for any sort of financial anything. Holy shit.
All jokes aside, I think it's really about the chemistry and the brotherhood that you have with or sisterhood. Yeah, that you have with your people. Because again, like Sean just said, if it was ever a day Aaron texted me and was like, yo, I'm really in the jam, I need $100. If I got it in the city account, I'm not gonna ask, hey, don't you got a job? I just have to flex. If I got it in my multi-flex account, I'm not gonna ask Aaron, what is this for? Why don't you got a job, nigga? I just saw you at Macy's yesterday. Like, that's not the kind of friends that
Aaron,
we are.
Your job stability's got to be better, bro. Honestly,
right. I'm not gonna be like, I see you in Washington D.C. right now. Like, no, I'm not going.
Flights are cheap, bro. What are you talking about?
If you got it, then cool. But again, my number one premise would be never lend out something that you cannot stand to lose. Because again, you just never know what may happen.
But I guess my question for you, I'm actually going to ask Aaron, the JVU piggyback, right? Is does it make a difference when it comes to lending for a friend. So Aaron, you got a friend, you got a coworker, right? Hurting, you know him to a certain extent, but he's not your family member, right? Um, does it make a difference when you lend money to him or a family member, or is you just gonna lend money based on the same rules regardless?
It does just depend on how close the relationship is. There are certain family members I'm closer with than others, so I'd be more comfortable lending them money. And as far as friends, lending money, I think outside of this group, I don't think I've ever lent anybody that wasn't family money. So I don't think I do that unless we're actual friends.
But then don't you run the risk of ruining relationships more because they're family or close friends versus a random coworker or a coworker friend?
No, I don't think so. At least.
I I feel like if something bad was gonna happen, like if I had to take that risk of like having to curse somebody out and publicly putting them out there, I would kind of rather be a family member than a friend.
Yeah,
You got the balls to say it more. I got you.
What?
I said because you have the balls to say something to them more than you would a friend.
Right, because sometimes, like, depending on who the friend is, like, if especially if you thought you trusted them, sometimes that could be really hard putting it out there because then what if you look stupid? But I don't know, for some reason, if it was a family member, I feel like I'd feel more comfortable calling that shit out and being more public about it. And then you would also have other, well, hopefully, you might have other family members on your side because they also know the person close to, you know. Something about that family bond sometimes kind of comes together when something bad happens, you know?
It makes sense. Fair enough. JV, what you got?
Mhm.
I'll just say I don't really think it's a difference. I just think that the relationship and chemistry got to be there. Again, if Sean calls me right now and say, "Yo, I really need this 100," I'm mentally thinking like, okay, something very serious must be going on because I know you guys, right? I know where you work. I know what kind of money you make, and same thing, with all three of you guys. So
Dang.
yeah, I'm in y'all pockets.
I know how much money I
Pocket
make.
watching.
Shit.
Right,
That's
I be
pocket
pocket
watching.
watching. But no, seriously, it's kind of like, so it's like I kind of have an idea of like what everybody kind of got going on in their lives because we're so close. So it's like if somebody asks me for something, I just mentally write it off like, okay, that's gone. But if it comes back, cool. But I don't think that you should allow something like money to ruin a relationship. Now, if somebody just being straight trifling, that's something
Mhm.
totally different. But like, if somebody comes to you and just be like, "Look, I wanted this on me. That's on. I'm working this out. Whatever the case may be." Then no, I don't think you should ever ruin a friendship over a few dollars because you know, friendships are too and family in general is too important.
I
But
agree.
yeah,
I agree with that. No, I agree with that 1,000%. Right. And so to kind of wrap this episode up, right? Don't let JV borrow shit.
don't, baby.
That's the
I'm
That's
gonna
moral
just
of
tell
the
that's
y'all
that's
this
story.
what I
now,
have.
baby. Can I say this in my New
Pen.
Orleans accent, baby? If you let me hold a $100, baby, it's going to the bank and it ain't coming out. Just know,
So
baby.
honestly, thank you guys for listening. Right, again, you can find us on any sort of streaming platform or YouTube. We appreciate you guys for listening. We love you guys. We're gonna wrap things up with our final thoughts. Right, again, my final thought is the same shit I've been saying. Right, when it comes to letting one person named Joshua Vincent borrow money, you
I
do
don't
not
appreciate that.
do that. Right, so I'm gonna kick it out to Aaron out in Washington D.C. Aaron, what's your final thoughts, bro?
Via satellite.
Well, there's a white guy with dreads playing Wonderwall on his guitar. Glad I
Okay.
got this mic. It's working out, keeping that drowned out.
He get on my nerves so much, bro.
You are all messy.
Can't stand him.
No,
It's
it's
fine.
yeah, like you said, don't let money ruin a friendship or any sort of relationship. If you expect to see that money back, just don't lend it out.
Yeah.
That's how
I
it
mean,
works.
that's facts, right? Mary Claire, what you got for us?
I mean, when it comes to borrowing and lending money, I would say treat it like your credit score. If you can't borrow that much, don't do it. Like treat it as it's gonna hurt a reputation of some sort. I mean, I know you guys are saying it's not worth ruining a friendship over, but sadly it happens. So if you're not willing to take that risk, don't do it. It's not worth it.
Speaking of taking risks, next episode, Mary Claire, we're going to talk about you and white privilege because I feel like the last week and a half has taught me that there's a lot of white privilege going on right now, and I just want to know your thoughts on
Oh yeah, there's
that
so
in general. JV, what's your thoughts? Oh my god.
My attorney will be contacting High Chicago for all the slander because I have paid you people back already. So I don't appreciate the slander. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right.
Who's representing you? Is it Wendy or yourself or Saul Goodman? Who is
Well,
it?
based on what he can afford, he's representing himself for sure.
You know what?
Self-representation.
That's fine. That's fine.
Aaron,
Walk this
please
out.
bring us home. Oh my God.
Like Sean said, you can find us on all your
Oh my
favorite. You can find us on all your favorite podcast platforms. Find us on YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Hi Chicago 312. Please follow us. Like, comment, subscribe, share.
Share.
And
Please
until
share.
next time, peace.
JV, you're canceled.